Okay, what's up, y'all? Welcome to the Confused Creative Podcast, where we talk all things culture, connection, and creativity. You know, it's your girl Tiny. You know, it's your girl. I love when Kiki Palmer says that. Like, I need me a little tagline like that. But I'm gonna use hers for right now. You know, it's your girl. I love that. Shout out to Kiki, my Virgo sister. Speaking of Virgos, y'all, I am so excited because this is going to be a astrology episode. I love astrology. My listeners, y'all know I love astrology. So, we're going to be talking about astrology today. But before that, make sure y'all like this podcast, you subscribe on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Support me. Support a young black queen. So, I'm excited because we got a guest today. Oh my God! We got a guest today, so I'm going to introduce our guest really quick. So, our guest for today is Kemani Goodwin. Kemani is the founder of Higher Thought Entertainment. Okay, so Higher Thought Entertainment is not just a brand, but it is a movement focused on elevating consciousness through meditation, storytelling, and intentional experiences. So, this brand helps people reconnect with their inner wisdom and, see life from a higher perspective, i.e., higher thoughts. Um, Aside from Higher Thought Entertainment, Kimani also has a full-time job getting on my nerve. So you might see him get on my nerve throughout this podcast. But I love it. I love him. It's fine. So yeah, Kimani is my friend. He knows a lot about astrology, a lot about the spiritual world. And I specifically want to talk about astrology in terms of black people, specifically black men. So, in order to talk about black men, I need to have another black man on the podcast. So, creative cousins, give it up for Kimani.
The crowd goes wild.
Woo! Hey,
Thank y'all.
no pictures, please. No pictures. Kimani, how you doing?
I'll be good. How you doing?
I'm good. You here with me and my creative cousins today.
Shout out to all the cousins. Shout out to all the cousins.
All the cousins. You better be excited because we about to get into some things.
Thank you for my introduction too. I like that introduction.
Did you like the introduction? I was gonna ask you, did you
Yeah.
like the introduction? I mean, y'all have to visit Higher Thought Entertainment's website to get the full scope of this amazing brand. But aside from that, I do what I can. I do what I can. Okay, so Kimani, I want to start off with an icebreaker.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. So this is the Confused Creative Podcast. So I'm gonna play along too. So I want both of us to share something that we have been recently confused about, but now we have more clarity about. So we're going from confused to clarity. So what's something recently or just in life in general that you've been a little confused about, but now you have more clarity?
Ooh, that's a really good
I'm gonna
question.
think we can think too. Like I said, I can speed this up.
Yeah. No, that's a real good question.
If you want to take a couple seconds, that's fine because I need to think as well.
No, I think I know mine. I think I would say I was very, very confused on like I have this meditative experience that I created and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it or like for the longest. Wasn't sure how I wanted to present it, if it needed less, if it needed more, if I wanted to like change anything within it to like make it feel presentable, I guess. But I figured out how I wanted to present it both. There's one way which is I want to create a story around it. I'm not going to give the details of that yet. I would like it to just be experienced as it's happening versus me giving all of the juice now. But I figured out the story that I want to tell, I guess, around it and in between it to kind of connect everything and make it like a nice full meal instead of just like a main dish. That and then the other way of experiencing it is I actually want to do pop-up meditation tents at like festivals and stuff and have people come up, sign up, meditate, and maybe that'll be part of them doing it there, like on the spot.
Well, one thing that I have struggled with my career is if I should focus more on my personal passion projects or if I should, try to put myself out there and like be in the industry. And the answer is both. The answer is both.
I was gonna say yes is the answer. The answer is actually yes.
Yeah, it's both. And I had someone that gave me like a mentoring session. She actually answered that question for me, but I think it's something in the back of my head that I knew. However, I know that I'm going to receive a much more fulfilling and rewarding return on my investment if I invest into my own projects and my own, my own shit that I'm doing. But also, a girl got to eat. I gotta, support myself and support my brand and everything else in between along the way. So I also need to put myself out there and be in the industry and do all the things that I moved to California to do. So the answer is both. And I think I'm in the process of like juggling like what that looks like.
Yeah, I think a lot of creatives are in that spot, including me, of like trying to figure out where do you find that balance and where do you put more of your energy towards. And yeah, it's both. The answer is if you want
So
to choose which one, the answer
I'm
is
sorry to, I'm sorry to tell y'all. I don't know if y'all came look at it's both, honey. It's both. And you know what? I'm hopeful that I will find like my balance and my sweet spot.
yeah, because it's kind of how do you work on your stuff and or how can you work on your own projects and eat at the same time or turn your projects into a way that you eat, which as a creative is tough because it's like all right, well you have to turn your creativity into a business,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that be a disconnect there for a lot of creatives.
Yeah. And I think it's taken me to the big old age of 30. Cause I was listening to your higher thought intro video on your website. And you were saying like how like higher thought, it's been a thing. It's always been a thing. It's just now becoming like, tangible, but this has always been you. This has always been the brand, and you've collected pieces along the way to like make it make sense into higher thought. And I feel the exact same way with like Confused Creative, Beyond the Brush, and like these projects that I'm doing. Confused Creative was born years ago, 2018. And we're just now getting things rolling, but like it does take time sometimes to like gain that clarity in your vision. So for anyone that's like listening and you have like a vision on something like a brand like Kimani does, like you might not have all the pieces right now. And you might get that over time through reading, through connection, with your peers. Like you're going to get pieces along the way. So, don't beat yourself up for like not starting right away as soon as you have this big idea. Sometimes things have to fall into place through time.
Yeah, I think a lot of that just comes from seeing everybody else maybe being able to move quicker or do stuff faster, or like maybe they're doing what you think in a place that you should be in.
Hmm.
So that can be tough. But really, what I've been learning though every time, it's a frustrating lesson to learn because I learned it too many times, is that you always have everything you need.
Always. I hate that lesson, but it's so true. Cause it's
I
like,
learned too
what?
many. Yeah.
And for some reason, the things that you don't have look more appealing.
Yeah, because you feel like, all right, I gotta have that to be this, and it's like if you are that. I see a lot of this process of being a creative, even a confused one, is figuring out who you are. Um,
Hmm.
that's what you want your brand to be, an extension of you.
Yeah.
Um, and it's really just figuring out who you are, and that's really the toughest part. And that's really all you need. When you
Yeah.
walk into a room, you are your brand. You are that. You are that creative. You are that artist.
Yeah.
And artists make do. We
They
create.
make do, and that's where the creativity comes in at. Like some people, I know I used to just start purchasing shit. Like, oh, I wanna have a talk show. I'm about to buy this. I'm about to buy that because I just have an extravagant mind. I love just things. I'm a Libra moon, so very festive, very Venus energy. So I just love the aesthetic of things, but the conversation and that's the meat of it. Like the knowledge, the information, that's what's important. That's what people are here for. And the branding or whatever, that'll draw attention, but it's really about, the meat and potatoes, this, us getting together and us talking about like, what we want to talk about. Now, Speaking of getting to know yourself, because you said that, that's what this is all about. Like your brand is an extension of you, so you got to get to know yourself. So what better way? I just love this. What better way to, not a better way, but one of the ways that I like to get to know myself is through astrology. Like, I love astrology down. I just love it down. I think it's so interesting. And it's really a way that I have began to understand other people as well, not just myself. It was a way that I could like start understanding energy, you know what I'm saying? And like, why certain things may happen, why certain dynamics exist. It's just so interesting to me. And I've also used it like, in my dating life a little bit too. Like when I
Well,
start dating me a man, I'm looking up that charts. What time was you born?
I'm not gonna say you shouldn't, but yeah,
with
good to
their
know.
permission,
Good to
with their
know.
permission, of course, with their permission. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, like that's like a way that, it's not the end all be all. It's not, I'm not saying, oh, this is going to tell me everything, but it's something that, I like to use to, see how our energies, might work. Now, in this process, Kimani, I've met men that, tell me like, oh, like, yeah, I know my big three. I know my sun sign, my moon sign, my rising sign. They're, well aware of astrology. That number is very small. That's a very small number of men that I've met. The other pool of men that I have met and that I, like date, they're just very like, oh, astrology, like isn't that some girl shit? Like they always like refer to it as girl shit, and it's just like, okay, nigga, like okay, girl shit, whatever. And then not even just like men in my own life, but like what I see on social media. Like I see men on social media just basically just saying like this is some bullshit. Like what, you can tell my energy because I'm a Leo, what, because I'm a Capricorn, this and that. And I understand the frustration because there is like a toxic culture around astrology, and we'll get into that too. But in general, I just see black men very reluctant to talk about astrology, or they feel like they have to be in a woman's presence to learn about astrology. Again, saying that it's some girl shit. So I want your opinion on this. Do you think men associate astrology with femininity? And is that why they reject it?
I would say yes. Men do. A lot of men do associate astrology with femininity. It's just with women in general. Like you said earlier, like, oh, it's a girl thing. It's like, all right, is that the reason that they reject it? I don't know. I mean, I don't. Could that be the sole reason? I feel like that's an excuse. I wouldn't say that that's a reason.
So what do you think the reason is?
They've never opened an astrology book.
Okay. And
Plain as
they just don't have interest in opening the astrology. But what makes you, why aren't they interested in it? Like,
I don't think that they know to be. I don't think that a lot of people understand ways that it could help them, or they've never been shown, or like, because where else? I mean, I would think growing up, like, where else do you see astrology, especially, in male dominated spaces, in male dominated spaces? Like, where do you see astrology? You really don't. And I mean, the only time we really talk about it is looking at the horoscopes or something like that, which would be was popular in like the newspapers and stuff like that. And now just it's a big social media thing to talk about the sun sign and on all of that. But
yeah.
other than that, you don't really see it in those areas. So that I don't. I just really think it's more of a education thing. Like people just aren't taught. It's just not in prominent spaces. It's more something you have to seek out.
Yeah.
And for one reason or another, women seem to gravitate to it a lot easier than men.
Now, going back to the culture of astrology, like you say, a lot of times when we see information about astrology, it's via TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Do you think it's the way that astrology is presented? Why, like, not honestly, not even just men, but we talking about men right now. But do you think, like, the way that astrology is presented, like, for example, you'll see a Facebook status and it will say, never in my life will I date a Leo again. Okay. Never in my life will I fall in love with a Virgo again. So it's just like, it's all of these broad general statements when you don't know every Leo or Virgo in the world. So do you think like that's some of the pushback as well? Because I personally hate those statuses too, because I feel like it's not a full picture. Like your sun sign is not a full picture of who that person is anyway. And that's why it's like, I wish motherfuckers will learn about this shit. But that's beside the point. Yeah, do you think it's because of the way that it's presented on social media, it's why people don't take it serious?
I think that's a major reason now, for sure, because it's presented as sun sign astrology, and that's all that there is. The rest of that stuff isn't pushed. There's so much. They can be like, oh, I'll never date a Leo again. But okay, you don't understand that you probably don't like Leos because that's your 12th house sign, and those are your enemies basically. So there's so much nuance to astrology that isn't explained or known, and I
Right.
think that nuance is known. Then that's what creates the okay. This is really what it is. It's just stereotypes. I mean, you could say the same thing of having a black experience. You know what I mean? Most people will make a stereotype of what black people are like based on just what they've seen, and it's if they only looking at the news, what are they gonna see?
Mm-hmm.
What comments are they gonna make? So it's tough. That's what I say. I mean, really, the biggest reason they've just never opened the book or saw the value in it, or the value has never come to them.
So, in what ways has astrology helped you as a man? Do you feel like you used astrology to improve your relationships, or like in what aspects have astrology like really, improved your life?
Multiple. First, I would say getting to know myself, like even like the deeper aspects, because astrology is very loud in a way. It's going to tell you everything you want to know and all the things you probably don't want to know to make you really, look into yourself in ways that you probably hadn't before. And then, like I said earlier, it helps you kind of, all right, so this is how my energies operate. What is it like when these energies come in contact with someone else's or somebody else with the same energy or a different energy? And because it's so, incalculable, like how the difference between people, it really helps you learn not just yourself, but other people. It'll help you see trends in your life, even in relationships. Like you can look at a birth chart and definitely tell. Like I could look at my birth chart and tell, like, oh, okay, I see where my problems in relationships could possibly arise from. Not saying that it's causation. And I definitely want to make sure I say this. It is, when I look at astrology, it's more correlation, not causation. And when I
Explain.
say it's like it's not that the planets and where their position is causing anything. It's just providing conditions to where certain things are possible. It's almost like looking at the weather and saying, "Oh, okay, we got these type of clouds coming in. There's a 40% chance of a thunderstorm with heavy lightning." It's just there.
So
There's just
basically, what you're saying is like astrology isn't definite.
no.
It's just a prediction of things that could occur.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even use the word prediction. There is predictive astrology, but yeah, it's just really here are the current energetic conditions, for whatever that time stamp is, whether it be today or when you were born or whatever. This is just a snapshot of the sky of what it looks like at that moment in time. And depending on where those planets are positioned and what house they're in, what sign and all of that, it changes minute to minute, versus what the conditions are and what could possibly happen. So you could have one configuration of a chart and it could be like, okay, like now we got Mercury retrograde. So now you have possibility for a lot of travel delays or revising things or coming back to things from the past. And then when it's moving forward, now things are moving in a different way again, or you going back and taking the test over again. So there's different conditions.
Okay, so going back to my question that you skipped, because you said that astrology could help you see themes in your dating life,
Mm.
correct? So, what themes have you seen in your dating life based off of your chart? And
So
what in your chart helps you figure that out?
So where I would look in the chart when it comes to relationships is the seventh house and the fifth house. And those are the first two houses I'm going to because the fifth house is the house of romance. That's what romance is in the fifth house. And so once you leave the fifth house, you go to the seventh house, which is one-to-one partnerships or one-on-one relationships. That can be in love, that can be in business. That's just how you are one-on-one, face-to-face with somebody or with another person. The house of Libra, by the way, this is the seventh house. So that balance. Whereas Aries, its opposite sign is the house of self. One. But yeah, so my seventh house would be in Leo. And so there I have multiple planets in that house, in my seventh house. So one, there's a lot of energy concentrated towards one-to-one relationships in my life in general. So maybe my one-to-one relationships are going to be extremely important, whether that's be business relationships or friends. Now that also squares a Pluto. That could square Pluto, right? In Scorpio, because they come to a cross like that, those energies. That can mean tension there between those two interacting. So Pluto might cause a lot of transformation through those one-on-one relationships. So most of my relationships are transformative, whether it be for me or the other person. So that's a pattern that you can see.
What if you don't have any planets in your fifth house?
Then you look to where your fifth house ruler is, which is the planet that rules that sign. So say your fifth house is in Virgo, right? But you don't have any planets there. But Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So you would, look to, okay, where is this ruler? Let me see where Mercury is in this chart. Find it. Boom. Okay. Mercury is in the 10th house. So maybe now your one-to-one relationships might be very important to your persona or how the world perceives you, which is the 10th house. Or it could be have to do with your career because the 10th house also deals with career. So you might find love through talking to somebody in your career.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Because I have several planets in the seventh house, but the fifth house is empty, child. And I was like, oh,
Then where's the fifth house ruler? But the
that's
fifth
what.
house is still helpful. Just because there's not a planet there doesn't
Right.
mean
Okay.
there is there. So
I always wondered that.
yeah, so like the house still takes on the energy. The house still exists. The house is still there. Just nobody is really living in it unless they're traveling through it. So
Ain't nobody,
ain't, ain't nobody living there. It's empty.
ain't
It's empty.
nobody home.
No
Ain't no
squatters.
man.
But no, so you look to see where that ruler is, or the transit, which is where the planets are moving now, right? Compared to your personal birth chart. So a planet transiting through, your fifth house means now that house is being woken up by that planet. So that planet is basically Airbnb that house as it's staying there.
Okay. All right. So, Kimani, what about the men in your life? Like, you know so much about astrology. Do your friends like take interest in this as well? Or like what is it that you observe with other men? Not it doesn't have to be just like your friends, but like what do you observe with like other men and their take on astrology?
I feel like most men don't have one. I don't know a lot of men in my life that are into astrology. And if they are, it's very, very minimal. They're like, yeah, I know my sun sign or whatever, but like, and they'll talk about it. They might talk about it like in like a group setting or something like that, the same way other people would online, but like it doesn't really have a lot of depth. Now online, I found some men who actually talk astrology and black men.
Same, same.
Not a whole lot, but I found some, and they're really good. They're
Very
really in
good.
different viewpoints, which is great. But I wish that there were more. And I think maybe that's our job as the black men who do study astrology to bring that.
Why do you think astrology will be beneficial for black men as a collective to become more aware about? Like, what do you think it can do for, like, maybe the mental health of black men or just like the spiritual health of black men? Like, what do you think this effect could have?
I would say both of those. I mean, I don't want to copy paste, but yeah, the mental aspect, the mental health aspect, like I said, it's really just a studying of yourself. I feel like once you were able to learn what astrology really is and learn how to be able to read it, because it's really like a language, and being able to speak that language, I feel like it just changes everything, especially when you get around other people who can speak that language. Now you get black men together speaking that language,
I can
talk about your business going up. Like, nah, they think you won't have to hustle. Millionaires don't use astrology. Billionaires do.
Mm, mm.
So not well, let me tell you, there may be some millionaires who use astrology, but like no, billionaires.
But what
They,
you're saying, these are the men that are using energy. They're working smarter, not harder. We out of the grind culture. Even for a man, like you don't have to grind. You don't have to. Well, in a way, but also understanding the energy of money and how that works. Astrology talks about that. Like,
Or
like understanding energy. Like, you can attract this shit to you, my nigga. Like, you don't have to be on the block every day. Like, you can make this shit work for you on an energetic level. All of us can, but especially
understanding on that level, you sound woo woo now all of a sudden, and people don't want to get all into the woo woo. And I think that's the thing. Astrology is very woo woo to a lot of people.
it's very, would you say, esoteric?
It is esoteric.
Very esoteric, like, and people are very hesitant with esoteric topics. I had a conversation with a couple of people. Like, I'll meet them and I'll ask them, like, oh, what's your sign? And a couple of the responses were interesting. I remember one person said, I don't believe in signs. I don't do that. They talked, well, I said she talked about her Christian faith. I guess maybe implying that it goes against her faith. Another conversation I had with someone else asked them, what's your sign? The response was God. God is my sign. Basically saying, hey, I don't do that. They drew a clear Christian line. A line. Hey, when them look Christians, y'all know I be on y'all neck. When the Christians draw that Christian line, I step right back. I don't have nothing else to say because I get it. I
Not
know
worth the fight. Yeah.
it's not worth the fight. And also, this is your journey. And kind of like you said earlier, you might not be called to it. This might not be something for you, period. But like, I just also feel like that response is closed minded a little bit. Like, it's closed minded. Like, can you not be a Christian and learn about astrology at the same time? So, what do you think? Why do you think that Christians, or not just Christians, but Christians, why do you think that, anyone that has like a faith, a strong religious faith, would possibly like reject astrology?
Um, one fear. Number one, fear. Uh, Two, they just don't. They haven't taken the time to understand it. You got to know. I feel like if you're going to have an enemy, at least know them. And when I say that, it's almost kind of like in sports, right? Like you could have. If you're a basketball team and you're going into battle against your opponent, it's the playoffs, whatever, championship game, whatever. You know nothing of your opponent other than they make baskets, just not in the way that you do. You know what I mean? So you haven't read the scouting report. You have no idea who or what they are. And so it can be tough. But when you also have, the rhetoric on the side of Christians who would say, and I can only speak for them because this is, one of the main arguments that I've heard is that the Bible is pretty much against astrology. And I always wonder, okay, how and where does it say is no to astrology? When he even said in Genesis 1:30, you know what? I got my Bible right here. Let
He
me
got
see.
the Bible. Cousins, he got the Bible. Hey,
This is 113 or 14, if I'm
because
not
we cite
mistaken.
our sources around.
Turn with me if you will. Open your Bible, please.
I got my Bible somewhere around here too. It's deep in there somewhere.
All right. We're going to go to Genesis 1, verse 14. When you have it, say amen.
Amen.
But it says, and God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. I'm going to skip down to 18. And to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. So, I mean, if he made all that and called it good, I don't really see the argument. At that point, it becomes a tool to be used. If you're going to, have that there, it wouldn't be there for no reason. I mean, even if you look at Matthew, Mark, Luke, I believe as well, when you talk about the three magi, the three wise men, they were astrologers. That's how they found Jesus. They were astrologers. But yeah, the Bible, I know it does speak against soothsayers and divination, which, you could say, yeah, I mean, you could use a lot of things for a soothsaying. Yeah, I could look at an astrology chart and just tell somebody what they want to hear. But that's not the way to use astrology. And that's not all astrology is. So I think there's a little bit of misguidance there. What else? I think that would be it. But there's astrology all through the Bible as
I
well.
was gonna I was gonna say, coming from someone that was a practicing Christian, like I mean practicing, like I took it very seriously. So I think coming from that mindset, you kind of get the mindset that, God, Jesus Christ, the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, big three. That's it. That's where you live. Anything outside of that, whether it be planets, whether it be anything outside of that that you're kind of looking to for spiritual guidance, it's dark, it's black, it's witchcraft, which is very anti-black too. But I'm saying that's the mindset. That's the
Yeah,
mind. That was my mindset. Like me personally, I had a fear of going to anything but God, but Jesus Christ for guidance. It was a heavy fear of mine, or like going to see a psychic or a tarot card reader, like anything in that esoteric field. If Jesus was not involved, is looked at as it's also like a social, what is the word, you get social scrutiny from doing things like that, like, so it's not just like an internal thing but also externally as well. So I just think that, like, going back to what you were saying, it's a fear. It's a fear to learn about anything outside of Jesus Christ, outside of Christianity, outside of the thing that could possibly put you in heaven or hell. But that is a different conversation. We don't have time. Listen,
yeah.
we gotta do a
That's,
part two because that's a different conversation. And to your point, God put everything here for us to learn about.
yeah.
Oh my,
That's
I like me, I feel closer to God every time I learn about anything, a new concept, a new religion, anything. So like even if you are rooted in your faith, there should not be a fear that God is going to punish you for learning or critical thinking. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm with you all the way, and I think a lot of I would say a lot of Christians have shared your viewpoint on astrology, like because it's tough because it's like when like you say you got the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, and like that's it, but at the same time it's like okay, if God is everything, how is a planet excluding God if God made everything? So it's there for a reason. You know what I mean? It's not like this stuff is here by accident. And I think just a little bit of study would quell fears. I
Yeah,
think
study.
I actually think it would help. I mean, some people are not open to it, and that's okay. Some people don't like it. They want to call it the devil or say the Bible is against it, and that's okay. That is their understanding of it. I just happen to have a different understanding of it, and I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. I don't feel that way, and I don't judge them for feeling their way. It's just, oh, okay, we disagree on that.
Yeah. And I will say as well, also on the other side of the coin, I know a lot of Christians that are deep in their faith that love astrology as well. So of course it's not the entire religion, but I think it's a pattern there, it's a theme there, even if it's not your fear of learning about astrology, learning about anything in general, your life path number, numerology, the human design. There are so many different avenues that you can use to tap into yourself, and it doesn't have anything to do with a moral high ground. Like, you don't have to feel bad or feel like you're going to hell because a lot of y'all feel like y'all going to hell.
Because here's the thing, we're not taught about astrology. We're not taught about numerology. The only numerology we're taught is, addition, subtraction, and then you get into algebra and like that's the numerology that we're taught. We're not taught the numbers that we're using actually mean. We're not taught what frequencies and energies they hold. We're not taught, about a lot of the myths or what the planets are, or like what the ancients used them for, like how they're actually more of a clock, how it can tell you what type of energies are going on. It's it's just not taught, and of course it's not going to be taught in church. I mean, I can point out numerology all day in the Bible. I can point out astrology to you in the Bible very clearly, very plainly, but it won't take off beyond that.
Yeah, I think that because I was going to say we need to restructure our educational system, but that's to me, it might sound negative, but that's a reach. I think that leave the education system how it is, but us independent thinkers have to create spaces for the younger generation to learn about this earlier in life. Because if I knew all that I knew now, like earlier in life, if I started learning about this shit when I was 7, like, like imagine where we would just all be just by getting to know ourselves better. The whole point is for you to know yourself. And I think that as black people, as spiritual people, we think of a God outside of us and that we have to learn everything about this entity, this being outside of us. But to know yourself is to know God. It is. It is to know God. You are doing the spiritual work by getting to know yourself. I remember one time I said that in church. Like I think I was moving to LA. It was when I first moved to LA and I went back to my home church one more time. And they was like, Tynesha, do you have any like advice for the youth? Because I used to be like a youth minister, like I used to like organize events for the youth, all of that. So they like, okay, she came back, whatever. I came back on some different shit. They was looking at me like, girl, you my one of my family members told me like you strayed away. You got to get back to your teachings. And I'm like, no, I'm actually closer than I've ever been. But I digress.
Most they will not. I mean, a lot of people just not gonna understand.
I
Sadly,
digress.
man, it's just I don't know. Like I've been into this stuff forever. I mean, I always have been. But like, yeah, no, most churches ain't. They're not going for that. Or like, I mean, the older generations aren't going for that. Different
Yeah,
mentality, different,
for
you
sure.
know, viewpoints, different outlook, different traditions, all of that. And so now we're moving into. I mean, I know this is probably a whole nother episode or something, but Pluto and Aquarius right now, it's about to get different. It's about to get different. Well, it's getting different.
Okay, Kimani, we gonna put a pin on that. I want to do like a short something fun. I want you to pick a song that deeply resonates with not just your spirit but your creative spirit. This I want this to be a song that my listeners can add to their playlist when they need some inspiration or when they need to just feel like I'm that bitch or I'm that nigga. Like, like what is that song for you? You can take a couple minutes to think about it.
I think I know which one I want to pick too.
Period.
And this is I really got like two or three, but I had two
Best
popular.
one. The best
I
one.
had huh
Pick the best one that you think my listeners, the people that are tuning into me, will listen to.
that they will listen to. See now I get yeah that changes it. That they will listen to. Rich Spirit.
By Kendrick?
Yes, yes,
Yes, I love
yeah.
Kendrick. You know, let's talk about Kendrick for a second. Just for 1 second.
Here we go.
If you need your spirit rejuvenated, turn on, what's it, Mr. Steppers? What is it?
Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers.
Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, turn it on. Turn it on. Because that project, that body of work, I think I was talking to a friend about this, and we were saying that she might have said it, I might have said it, I don't remember, but I 100% agree. Um, GNX, Kendrick's recent album. Was it you I was talking to about this? I don't know. It might have been you. But GNX Kendrick's recent album was for everyone else. This is for
Mm.
y'all niggas. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers was for Kendrick. He did that for him. So I feel like that is my favorite project because GNX is a great body of work, but it's external based. It's about his life, what's been happening outside of him. And Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers is just like,
That was art. To me, that project was art. It was art. Simply put, it was art.
okay, well, that was a great song selection. Cousins, we're definitely adding that to our creative playlist. Okay. Okay, so mine, I gotta pick a good one now because let me think of one I think that you have heard. I don't think you've heard this, but I'm gonna say this. Okay, there's an artist. His name is Pink Sweats.
I know Pink Sweats.
You know Pink Sweats? Okay, so um on his album, what album is this? Okay, so this album is called Pink Moon. It came out a few years ago, 2022. But he has a song on there called For Me featuring Blast. It is the most beautiful song that I have ever heard, Kemani. Like,
Ever?
one of them. One of them. The way that it makes my spirit feel. Go listen to it after we get off and
I will.
tell me that this song don't move your spirit.
I'm gonna listen to it.
But basically, in the song, like the gist of the song is like, what is for me is for me. And I can be going through a dark time, but there's a light inside of me. And I'm going to always follow that light. It's placed in me, it's in me, not on me.
Look, follow the light bulbs.
Follow
Follow
the
the
light,
light
but
bulbs.
follow the higher thought light
Follow the
bulb.
light bulbs.
But yeah, Blast is on this song. You know, Blast will sing. It's a great song, Kimani. The whole project is great. But
I'm
that
already looking it up now to listen to it.
but also, okay, we missed this part. Tell me why you love Rich.
The bravado in it, it's almost like a quiet. It's loud, but it's still like a quiet, humble bravado. But also like how he is. It's almost kind of like starting a villain arc in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that as a creative, I feel like it's better when creatives are on their.
Absolutely.
Even when he was like, "Stop playing with me before I turn you to a song." Like that. That is a creative bar. Or when he say, "Spirit medium, I don't rap." Like
Mm.
I'm pulling this from a different place. I'm pulling this from a different place. I channel this. I don't what? Come on.
If you know, you know. There have been things that I have done that have not been me. Like I wrote something and I'm like, that wasn't me. That was not
Could
me.
have been. Could not have.
I was just a vessel. And to get to that place is so rewarding and I like feel so thankful. But it don't happen every time. And that's why it's special. Like it doesn't like it's not like you gonna get like but I feel like for artists like Kendra that have been putting in the work and the consistency and that have been doing it for so long, I know God is using that, man. Like it's just like I think of him and Lil Wayne kind of like in the same. It's like, how are you saying all of this and making it rhyme? Humans don't really do that. Like, you know, so it's definitely some spiritual shit he channeling for sure. Okay. Okay, creative cousins. Kimani is going to wrap up with us, but Kimani, give us your last little tidbit that you want my listeners to leave with.
So when it comes to astrology, go learn yourself. It's not a religion. It's not about having a different God to pray to or worship or anything like that. Go get your birth time. Ask your mama if you don't know. But get that birth time is very, very, very important because that is what's going to set your rising sign. Get to know your sun, your moon, and your rising sign because your rising sets the chart. It's more important than your sun sign. More important than your sun sign. So it's more than just being like, I was born in June, so I'm a Gemini or a Cancer. Nah, get that rising sign and get that chart straight, and maybe you come to higher thought. I'll break it down for you if you don't understand it.
Yes, yes. So Kimani does readings. Am I correct?
Yep, you can call it a reading, analysis, breakdown. Either way you want to put it out, decode it.
Okay. So for those that want like a entry level introduction to astrology and for those that are interested, they can book you. And you can walk with them and break that down for them.
Yep, I can. Just go to higherthoughtent.com. I'm there. Everything is there. The meditation stuff is there. Astrology stuff is there. There's some quick links on the homepage. So hit the astrology, pick the reading you want, and let's get busy.
Period. And what would you say to the men that are, do astrology, I'm a man? What would you say to them?
Come learn astrology so you know what your girlfriend talking about when she tell you something in retrograde or about her moon. You know what I'm saying? You can come learn about your 10th house so you can know about your business, what your work career should look like. Come look at your second house and see what your money, how the fastest way for you to earn money is. Come see what your girl moon sign is so you can understand her emotions. Learn her Venus and Mars sign so you know the balance of give and take.
Okay.
That's what I would
'Cause
say.
I have a Libra moon and I need validation. It's not my fault. Reassurance me, please. It's because I'm a Libra moon. And to piggyback off of what Kimani said, learning about astrology has been so fun for me. Like, it's not something that's necessary, right? But if you are someone that is looking to, just learn about yourself more and, to just relate to something, pick up that astrology book. There are a lot of beginner astrology books, but also support a black business, support a black brand, and book Higher Thought to help you with that, because it's really fun talking to someone with it and you talking to someone about it, and you all can share experiences. And it's cute. Okay, now Kimani, for our very last segment, we're gonna do a word of the day, and I do word of the days because this is for I'm sorry, this is a black podcast. Not saying hey, you can be whatever and listen to it, but as young black people, knowing words and how to articulate yourself and express yourself is so important. There have been so many times where I have felt something internally and I did not have the words for it. And I wasn't able to stand up for myself or to, express myself clearly. So here at Confused Creative, we are going to create a word bank. It's for me, it's for anyone that's watching, and we gonna get our vocabulary up, and we gonna know how to express ourselves in these workspaces, okay? To our family, to our friends, in our relationships. We're using our words, okay? You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I can go first.
Okay, you can go first.
So my word is indubitably.
Ooh, indubitable. Wait, I got a list. Indubitably.
Indubitably. So indubitable.
Indubitable.
I can't say my own word. Indubitable, but indubitably. Indubitably.
Can you tell us, like, can you use it in a sentence? Can you tell us, like, what the essence of that word means?
So I feel like the word itself, sonically, you could just throw it anywhere for fun. But it means without question.
Period. And instead of period, we can say that.
Indubitably.
Indubitably. I gotta laugh.
Indubitably. Where you walk into a room, like, smell a little indubitable around here.
So that's the base word. Indubitable. I can't say it slow.
Indubitably.
You gotta kind of let it roll off.
And yeah, just let it roll.
That
Indubitably.
word whooping my ass. I'm not gonna lie. It was whooping my ass. Indubitably.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. Okay. All right. Great word. Okay. So my word is autonomy. So autonomy, AUTONOMY for y'all. So the simple definition is the right or condition of self government. But I just love that word because you have autonomy over your life. Okay? You take control of what the is going on. All right. I also love this definition: the capacity for governance, allowing individuals or groups to make their own informed decisions and act based on their internal values and goals. So I just feel like everything that we talked about, this is what we talk about when you want to have autonomy. We are diverse thinkers. It's okay for us to have a difference in opinions and come together and talk about those things because you have autonomy over your life and what you got going on.
Indubitably.
Period. We can make a whole sentence off of that. Okay. Okay, Kimani. I had so much fun.
This was great. I'm glad we did it. About
Me
time.
too. What do you think?
This was fun. I felt like it was crumbs to the crook to the.
It was. So for the future, because I would like some feedback. So for the future, like what are some other things that you might want to get into regarding this conversation?
Oh man, this conversation is never ending.
Yeah.
It's never ending. We can get into. I mean, always talk about what Mercury retrograde is. Probably talk about Pluto in Aquarius right now, which is huge. We could talk about Saturn going into Aries and what that looks like going forward with the new world. We
You
can,
mean the specific astrology question. So we gonna have to bring you back. They gonna have to tune back in
yeah.
because we ain't pay for all of that for higher thoughts. Okay, we only got the basic level package with Confused Creative. Okay,
Well, then
yeah, I'm gonna have to bring you back
we could talk about love and astrology. We could talk about I don't know wherever you want to go with it. Wherever you want to go with it,
for
go with
sure, for sure. Well, Creative Cousins, thank y'all for tuning in. Again, this is Confused Creative Podcast, culture, connection, creativity. Like, subscribe, comment, support your girl, support Kimani, and that's it. We're out of here. Love y'all. Bye.
it. Peace.